When it comes to changing the direction of our lives, particularly when it comes to any of the big decisions, such as our careers, our relationship, our mind has this fantastic ability of coming up with a whole range of reasons as to why we shouldn't take that decisive action or put a plan into place. And it's about recognizing some of those obstacles, and I'm just going to cover a few of them today. Now, the first one I'm going to talk about is a sunk cost. And basically a sunk cost is something that you've already invested, and oftentimes it can be a major anchor to people moving forward. So an example might be you have spent X amount of years in a given career. Now, it's a career that gives you absolutely no satisfaction or joy whatsoever, and yet you feel, because that's the career that you've been educated to do, that's the career that you have the work experience in, that's justification for you to stick it out, to stay miserable. Likewise with relationships, you may feel, our families have met and we've been on a lot of joint holidays, we have a lot of joint history, and yet I'm so unhappy, but I'm better off to just stick it out, better the devil you know. And I mean, yes, it's worth your while going to every avenue and exploring every avenue with regards getting counselling and seeing if the relationship can be saved. But if all of those endeavours have failed, then at some stage you have to weigh up whether or not you're willing to write off the next X amount of years with this person just because you've already invested a few to this date. And that's a really difficult decision to make, and one we often struggle with. Likewise, when we come to a crossroads in life and we have two opportunities presented to us, and both of them have, I suppose, their attraction. And oftentimes, because of our struggle with indecision, we think we hover and we think, God, maybe I'm better off making no decision at all and just staying where I am. But when we stay where we are, we stagnate. We miss out on every opportunity. So it's about getting over your fear of indecision, trying to tap into your gut, weighing up the pros and cons, and coming to some logical decision. I mean, there's never really a wrong decision. There's just different outcomes, but it's about having the courage to choose something as opposed choosing to stay where you are for fear of doing the wrong thing. I think another assumption we have is that when we make a change in life, that automatically we should immediately find our lives a more pleasurable place to be, or we should be insanely happy as a result. And the reality is, a lot of the things that we do in life that are most beneficial for us don't bring any sense of happiness. They bring a sense of fulfillment and autonomy, but they're not necessarily about pleasure. And this even applies to the smaller little things when it comes to putting disciplines in place that are going to benefit your mental and emotional health, such as things like meditation, having challenging conversations with a partner, being vulnerable in your relationship. I mean, none of those things are particularly pleasurable. I mean, for years, I think I had this misconception about meditation. I always felt like if I meditated on something that was bothering me, that I was going to feel better about it. And I'd bring some kind of intention into the meditation, and all of a sudden, halfway through, I'd experience really visceral emotions, far more intense than I had imagined I was experiencing. And this used to kind of turn me off. I'd be like, God, I don't actually want to go there. But that was the point. I needed to experience that in order to transcend it. I needed to get an understanding of what it was that I was actually feeling in order to be able to move past it, But it was very uncomfortable to sit through those few moments and be like, okay, this is where I'm actually at. Likewise with those challenging conversations that bring so much growth, but also bring all of those feelings of fear, vulnerability. I mean, they're not easy, and yet when you come out the other side, you have already grown so much as a person. Your relationship has grown. Things are going to improve for you. So again, this assumption that things that are good for us, are the right decisions, are automatically going to make our lives immediately better or pleasurable, it is very, it's not a really helpful one to carry with you. So if you're struggling with making the decisions necessary to bring your life on, or to make changes, and you feel a little bit apprehensive about whether or not they're the right ones for you, get in touch with me on the website. It's fundamentals.ie, or indeed get in touch on either Facebook or on Instagram. All of my video content goes on my YouTube channel, which is Fiona Feely. Go check it out, like, share, subscribe. Hope everyone has an amazing day.